from Midland, Odessa, and Big Spring. This is ABC Big 2 News at 10.
Now at 10, the battle is on for the future of the Republican Party. Tonight, the former President Donald Trump and his former Vice President Mike Pence are dueling it out in Arizona, stumping for rival GOP candidates. Good evening and thank you for joining us on this Saturday night. I'm Rob Took. Now we begin tonight with those rallies and the new fallout following the latest January 6th public hearings investigating the Capitol riot. Here's ABC's Zorin Shah leading us off tonight.
Former Vice President Mike Pence with an urgent message to his party.
Now, there are those who want to make this election about the past.
It comes after the January 6th committee laid out how Donald Trump refused to admit the election was over, even after a mob of his supporters stormed the Capitol. Pence now tweeting, if the Republican Party allows itself to become consumed by yesterday's grievances, we will lose.
I don't want to say the election's over. I just want to say Congress has certified the results without saying the election's over, okay?
But just hours later, Trump repeating that familiar lie.
The election was rigged and stolen.
Congresswoman Liz Cheney is urging her country and her party to reject Trump.
Can a president who is willing to make the choices Donald Trump made during the violence of January 6th ever be trusted with any position of authority in our great nation again?
But most Republicans reluctant to distance themselves from the former president. The committee highlighting Missouri Senator Josh Hawley's actions on January 6th as he entered the Capitol.
As you can see in this photo, he raised his fist in solidarity with the protesters. Later that day, Senator Hawley fled after those protesters he helped to rile up stormed the Capitol. See for yourself.
The committee room erupting in laughter, watching Hawley run. Even after the riot, he voted to overturn the election. Now Hawley is standing by that decision.
I do not regret it, and I am not backing down.
And that was Zorin Shah reporting tomorrow morning on This Week. ABC's Jonathan Karl will go one-on-one with Congressman Adam Kinzinger on the January 6th committee's major findings and what's next for the investigation. And across Texas, a man was shot and killed by police after he shot a Missouri City police officer. The suspect was wanted for a violent carjacking. Police say he shot Missouri City officer Crystal Sepulveda once in the face and once in the foot at the end of a police chase early this morning in the southwest Houston area. That suspect fired at several other officers moments later and was killed by returning fire. He was armed with 2 automatic pistols with extended magazines. Officer Sepulveda is expected to be okay. And 4 people were hurt after a shooting in Far East El Paso. At least 1 person was rushed to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Police got the shots fired call around 2 this morning and showed up to a large party. So far, there are no arrests. And caught on camera, Odessa police are warning families to watch out after a recent porch pirate sighting. Doorbell security video shows this woman approach a house slowly. She's caught taking a package off a home's front step on San Diego Street. Police said she stole another package on the same day from Madison Square Apartments. Both victims filed a report online. Now here's some advice from OPD to avoid becoming a victim. Set up an outdoor security camera. Provide specific delivery instructions. Have your package held somewhere for pickup. And anyone who has seen this woman is asked to give police a call. And get a look at this. Fire and smoke were whipped in circles by a wind turbine just west of Wichita Falls. The turbine got struck by lightning on Friday. A cell tower repairman caught the post-strike fire on his phone's camera. Thankfully, no one got hurt. And much closer to home, the summer heat continues. Today was another warm day, as expected. We're taking a live look outside right now at I-20 on this Saturday night in Odessa. Things are cooling down, but only slightly overnight. Joining us now with a check in our forecast is ABC Big 2's Bridget Sarpong. Hi, Bridget.
Hi, Rob. And like you said, it was an expected kind of heat for Saturday, so happy Saturday, everyone. That heat brought us all the way up to 98 degrees. Usually around this time in July, we're definitely used to 96-degree temperatures. So yesterday, we have sat above our normal temperatures. Not as hot as we were back in 1995 when we sat our triple digits at 105 degrees. And I will have more of this weekend's forecast later on the show. Back over to you, Rob.
Thank you so much, Bridget. And developing now at 10 o'clock, evacuations are underway tonight as a fast-moving fire rages near Yosemite National Park in California. The Oak Fire started recently and quickly spread to 1,600 acres. Extreme heat is giving firefighters a major challenge. More than 85 million Americans coast to coast are under heat alerts. ABC's Alex Stone has more on how families are managing to get by.
As a heat wave engulfs the country, firefighters in Mariposa County are racing to get the upper hand on this wildfire. It's the county's third fire in only 2 weeks. Holy moly. Flames from what's called the Oak Fire have now exploded to over 9,500 acres, leaving some buildings destroyed and coming dangerously close to others.
Fire's been coming towards us faster and faster.
This fire sparked Friday afternoon near the southwest section of Yosemite National Park and reaching the Sierra National Forest. Dozens of people who live in the area evacuated.
I'm hoping that they're able to get it out before it damages anybody's homes, but this doesn't look good.
Planes and helicopters are battling the flames from the skies as firefighters on the ground work the front lines. Governor Gavin Newsom announcing the state has secured FEMA assistance that will help reduce firefighting costs. Temperatures have been above 90 degrees, complicating firefighting efforts. Those soaring temperatures affecting residents across the state. In one Los Angeles community, officials have come up with a unique way to keep the ground cool. They're adding a solar reflective coating to blacktop areas, which they say will lower the surface temperatures between 10 and 12 degrees. Meantime, further east in Arkansas, farmers are struggling to deal with drought conditions, further worsened by climate change.
Now we're to a point where we're losing water. Ponds going dry.
Higher temperatures, no water means grass is not going to grow as much.
Conditions that are leaving cattle with less food and water. In response, farmers are importing hay from other states and keeping cattle in the shade. Alex Stone, ABC News.
And the weekend is flying by, but the heat is here to stay. Temperatures sat above normal and our humidity sat even higher, making today's heat feel hotter on the skin. We are cooling down, but how high will we rise tomorrow? I'll have that answer after the break.
And coming up tonight, the Astros and Rangers continue their series against division rivals. Those highlights on deck. And the Midland Rockhounds tried to even up their series tonight. Highlights from the local diamond coming up in sports. And tonight, there's a lottery fever as the jackpot grows to one of the largest in history. What experts advise you do just in case you win. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the fall, a game of gravity versus greed. Ready, set, pull, let's go!
The Final Straw, new Sunday on ABC.
Veterans, when you're struggling, soon becomes later, becomes someday, becomes when. Don't wait. Reach out.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Over the hill. We're like hitting our stride. It's the 50th anniversary sale at Furniture Row, and that means everything is on sale. Find savings up to 50% off, plus 50 months no interest. The 50th anniversary sale, on now at Furniture Row.
The new GMC Sierra. Premium and capable. That's professional grade. Step up to GMC with 0% financing on these GMC models.
Visit your Permian Basin GMC dealer.
At Long John Silver's, our new coconut popcorn shrimp brings you a taste of the islands. They're covered in crispy sweet coconut flakes and fried to golden perfection. Try our new coconut popcorn shrimp with our $10 C-shares. Order online at longjohnsilvers.com. Fish yeah!
To sunrise catchers and faithful fetchers, to smoke artists and fire dancers, to abuelos and their favoritos, to the next generation of anglers and weekend wranglers. H-E-B brand products were born and raised to be Texas favorites, guaranteed. And they could only come from H-E-B, to Texas with love.
KMID is the Basin's first television station. From 1953 until now and beyond. We're always first, always accurate, and always proud to call the Basin home. Watch ABC Big 2 News.
Over the hill. We're like hitting our stride. It's the 50th anniversary sale at Furniture Row, and that means everything is on sale. Find savings up to 50% off, plus 50 months no interest. The 50th anniversary sale on now at Furniture Row.
Watch ABC Big 2 News weeknights at 5, 6, and 10. Your local weather authority forecast.
Well, happy Saturday, friends. Today was a hot day in the Basin. We're slowly beginning to cool on down. Partly cloudy skies for the most part, but a high of 88 degrees. Yeah, I know it's like, 10 o'clock, but still we're feeling hot. It's the summer, so our humidity is sitting at 30%, so it is going to feel a lot hotter on our skin than usual. Our winds will be traveling south-southeast at 9 miles per hour. Now, that sunset happened not too long ago at 8:52 p.m., so we do have that temperature change right now, so we are cooling down by 1 degree in the middle of this area at this same time yesterday. Big Spring is actually warmer by 5 degrees, and then we have Carlsbad sitting 10 degrees warmer, and then in Presidio 2 degrees warmer, and Alpine has stayed the same. So definitely not too bad. We are seeing some temperature changes for the most part. Most of us are cooling down unless you're in Carlsbad. That's when you are beginning to heat on up. And speaking of heat on up, today we made it all the way up to 98 degrees. Usually around this time in July, we're definitely used to 96-degree temperatures. A hot day in the area, but not as hot as how it was back in 1995 when we sat on triple digits at 105 degrees. Taking a look at our lows, we did come in pretty warm for that today. 77 degrees for our lows. Usually around this time, we're definitely used to 73-degree temperatures. Now, taking a look at our high temperatures, we actually did have some areas that did reach their triple digits. In Big Spring, 100 degrees, along with in Wink, and then in Pecos sitting at 102 degrees. Then we have Van Horn sitting at 100 degrees, and then we have Presidio sitting at 101 degrees. So really a hot day in the area. Everyone's sitting in, some above temperature heat. Now, tomorrow morning, we'll be seeing our 70s for a very mild kind of morning. Our winds will be front and center yet again, traveling south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now, we are going to increase. By the time we get into 8 a.m., it's going to be a windy kind of morning, sitting at 77. And then we get into noon, that we begin to warm up quickly at 89 degrees. And then by 5 p.m., we're sitting at a nice and hot 97. So it's going to be a hot day for tomorrow. We're really putting the sun in Sunday. Now, because the sun is going to be front and center, a couple of heat tips for you guys. Do be sure to drink plenty of water, apply sunscreen regularly, and take breaks in the shade or even in the AC. Now, the wind is going to be front and center, similar to what we did see for today. Around 5 a.m., as many of us are getting ready for church, the winds will be blowing. So, ladies, hold on to those lashes, because 14 miles per hour wind is what we're going to see in the Midland, Odessa area, and that winds continue to be with us, but specifically around 8 p.m. That's when we do see the entire area increasing in wind. In Pecos, 25 miles per hour. In Fort Stockton, 19 miles per hour. In the Midland, Odessa area, sitting at 15 miles per hour. And then in Presidio, sitting at 22 miles per hour. So the one advice I do have for those high-profile traveling vehicles, just take it slow on the road, nice and easy. And because of that wind that we are seeing, our trees, our grass, our dust, and our mold is sitting at a low level. Do be sure to take the necessary precautions so that you can make the most of it. And then I'm excited because the 7-day forecast is going to show some heat and some sun, but we get into Friday, and that's when we will be seeing some rain. I know, Rob, that you were looking for some kind of, car wash or something, just something to cool down the temperatures, and we're going to get that come this same time next week.
Absolutely, Bridget. Either I'm getting used to this desert climate or I'm going crazy, but it was starting to feel a little bit cooler this past week.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. Thanks a lot, Bridget. And new at 10 tonight, locals in Odessa are working together to bring down the illiteracy rate in Texas. The Boys and Girls Club of Odessa hosted their first children's literacy and reading festival this morning. The goal is to increase reading levels among youth. The free event was open to the whole community, and ABC Big 2's Bridget Sarpong and Tatiana Battle were there as MCs for the program.
Festival. We are basically trying to promote literacy in our community. We want our kids to fall in love with books. It's a day to remember. It can go down in history book, and next year it will be bigger and better. We're going to higher heights.
Oh, I hear that. What a wonderful message. Each child walked away with a few free books and some other reading materials. More than 400 kids left with a free backpack filled with back-to-school goodies, too. And trending tonight, lottery fever is growing. The giant Mega Millions jackpot has grown to $770 million tonight. No winning ticket was sold for last night's drawing. ABC's Deidre Bolton spoke with a lottery lawyer about that massive payout and some strategies to consider if you somehow manage to win.
Across America with Mega Jackpots, it's Mega Millions.
Overnight, the drawing for the third largest Mega Millions jackpot left without a winner, raising the prize sum to a whopping $790 million.
The future Lucky Lotto winner
Will be faced with two options. Take the money now as a lump sum, or in gradual payments, otherwise known as an annuity. While most winners usually go for the lump sum, experts say inflation isn't making that decision easy anymore.
If we believe that inflation will be here for a while, then you may want to consider taking the annuity versus taking the lump sum.
One accountant did the math. In this current rate environment and after taxes, the lump sum from Friday's jackpot would have paid a little bit more than $244 million. But if you took the prize over 30 years and there were no tax code changes, at the end, you'd have close to $269 million, over $24 million more. And there are other benefits to choosing an annuity.
Especially for a younger person that may not have the skills and the ability to say no to certain purchases.
It's not lighthearted advice, since some estimates show that 70% of lotto winners who choose lump sum payments run out of money in 5 years or less. Also, who wins matters.
Is it one person? Is it 5 people? Is it a family?
If you're that lucky winner, most experts say do not sign the back of the ticket. Take it home, put it in a safe place, and consult a qualified professional who can help you claim the money and protect your anonymity in the states where that is allowed.
And now your ABC Big 2 Sports.
All right, the Astros and the Rangers, they each started their weekend series against a division rival. Should be a good one. Let's start in Seattle with the Astros and the Mariners. Fourth inning, 1-on, no score. Kyle Tucker sends the Logan Gilbert pitch into the gap for a double. Yordan Alvarez scoring from first. Astros up 1-0. Next batter, Yuli Gurriel lines a double into left field. Tucker scores. Astros go up 2-0. Meanwhile, on the mound for Houston, Justin Verlander dealing. Fourth inning, Eugenio Suarez, he goes down swinging. Fifth inning, Cal Raleigh, he gets a called third strike. Next batter, Dylan Moore, swings and misses at strike 3. 6 strikeouts in the first 5 innings for Verlander. But in the 7th inning, in a 2-0 game still, Carlos Santana takes Verlander deep. A solo shot, his 9th career homer off of Verlander, also his 9th of the season. Mariners make it just a 2-1 game. But later in the 7th, the bases loaded, 2 outs. Verlander gets Sam Haggerty to go down swinging, and in the inning, Verlander fired up as he finished with 9 strikeouts. Astros, they go on and win 3-1. All right, we got another AL West rivalry game out in Oakland with the Rangers in town. There wasn't a ton of action on the base paths in the first half of the game, and not a ton happening now as it's just 1-0 in the 6th inning. Both the Rangers and Astros, they'll wrap up their series tomorrow a little bit after 3 p.m. All right, Amarillo this weekend, that's what Midland's singing, because that's who they're playing. The Rockhounds are hosting the Amarillo Sod Poodles. Go to the highlights. Let's get them. Rockhounds trying to bounce back after losing the series opener yesterday. Hounds, just like yesterday, they would trail early, though. Drew Stankiewicz blasts his 9th homer of the season over the wall and left. Great catch, if you notice there, by the young man on top of the wall. But at that point, Midland was down 2-0. On the comeback trail, Hounds, they get a little lucky on this bounce off David Leal right to Kyle McCann at first. Good play there. Rockhounds, though, they were without a hit 3 innings in. They finally get their first knock of the game from Brett Harris in the 4th. Gets a leadoff double left. Although Midland, they would leave him stranded. Jeremy Eierman would hit a 2-run walk-off homer in the 9th. And the Rockhounds, they steal a win. All right, we're back with something cool, like the name says. Something cool that happened outside a game result or a box score. You've probably heard of this guy right here, Jackie Robinson. 60 years ago today, on July 23rd, 1962, Robinson became the first ever African-American inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. This was certainly a big week for Robinson's family and legacy. Both were celebrated during Tuesday's MLB All-Star Game in Los Angeles. Now, before the game, Denzel Washington, he gave a tribute to Robinson on the week of his induction ceremony, standing by home plate, wearing Robinson's old Dodgers jersey. Washington highlighted Jackie's influence on generations of fans and players and how his accomplishments still affect baseball today. Tuesday, though, was also a major milestone for Robinson's widow, Rachel, who turned 100 years old. And in a gesture of respect, the 2022 All-Stars did this.
Today is a special day. It's Miss Rachel Robinson's 100th birthday. So on the count of 3, I want everybody here to say happy birthday, Rachel. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Rachel.
All right, I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, everyone knows Jackie Robinson's impact, but all these years later, and now his wife, 100 years old, I mean, there's just such a level of respect that these players have for him and his history and even his family, but that was definitely something cool.
That really was something cool. Happy birthday, Rachel, and, Jackie Robinson. Tremendous talent, unshakable character, truly a trailblazer. That is something cool.
Yeah, there you go. That's the point.
Thanks a lot, Avi.
It's totally ridiculous. What, are you just going to have the elite now go to concerts? That's how it's going to work?
It's a sticker shock for music fans looking to see their favorite artists live on stage. Coming up, hear about the new ticket system that's sending prices soaring.
Don't miss huge Black Friday and July mattress deals at Ashley. For a limited time only, get a queen mattress for the price of a twin on select Ashley sleep mattresses. Or get 0% interest for 5 years on top bedding brands. Only at Ashley.
A new Chevy is the smart way to hit the open road this summer. The smart way to road trip and seek new adventures. Go a little farther this summer in a new Chevy. Find new get up and go, find new roads. Well-qualified buyers get 2.49% financing on most 2021 and 2022 Chevy SUVs when you finance with GM Financial. New models are arriving daily. Secure yours today. Chevy drives Texas. Find new roads.
Got my hair, got my head.
Introducing new One-A-Day Multi Plus, a complete multivitamin, plus an extra boost of support for your immunity, brain, and hair, skin, and nails. New One-A-Day Multi Plus.
Hey folks, Larry Hook at All American Chevrolet of Odessa. Summertime is just more fun in a Chevy. New or used, car, truck, or SUV, we'll get exactly what you want.
Drive this new 2022 Chevy Silverado 1500 LTD Crew Cab home for just $549 a month, and that's with 0 down. And we have over 15 in stock along with the Silverado 2500 and 3500 HD. And check out our other new Chevys in stock, but hurry because they will go fast. Come test drive one today.
So come see us at All American Chevrolet of Odessa, the fun place to buy a car.
Fueling our cars, our homes, and our local economy, gas, oil, and electricity are all powering the Permian. I'm Matt Fonz. Watch my reports every Wednesday night at 6 and 10.
Watch Powering the Permian every Wednesday night on ABC Big 2 News.
Black Friday in July is going on now at Ashley. This week only, shop huge savings up to 50% off. Like this queen panel bed, now only $199. Hundreds of items in stock and ready for delivery at Ashley.
Get ready for your day with meteorologist Ryan DePhillips.
Bruce Springsteen fans who are hoping to see the boss in concert are dealing with some major sticker shock. People are upset over the soaring price of tickets to go to live concerts. Now, Ticketmaster's dynamic pricing is leaving some fans digging deep into their wallets. ABC's Phil Lipoff shows us what's behind the rise in prices.
The boss is back. Tickets on sale for Bruce Springsteen's highly anticipated 2023 tour. However, some fans saying they were not born to run through the darkness on the edge of town just to get to the promised land. Sticker shock. Fans angry and confused by the rising cost of tickets. Some seats going for upwards of $5,000.
It's totally ridiculous. What, are we just going to have the elite now go to concerts? That's how it's going to work?
Chris Zetzi, a Springsteen fan since 1974, was quickly blinded by the light when he tried to buy 4 tickets on the first level of the arena. $250 a seat when he selected them, $650 a seat when he went to pay.
I thought I'd maybe ordered 2 or 3 of them by mistake.
The cost, all part of Ticketmaster's dynamic pricing, a system that changes cost based on demand, with what they call platinum tickets.
They could go up 10 times in value over the course of an hour.
And they did. $45,000 for one ticket on the first day of sales. But it's not all tickets. Seats for thousands of dollars only making up about 1% of Springsteen's total sales. Most tickets averaging in the $200 to $300 range, if you could get them.
A lot of fans would just really like to see Ticketmaster dump dynamic pricing.
Until then, Chris and many other fans feeling the 10th Avenue freeze out.
And last night, we take a look at a heartwarming encounter between a young boy and a baseball star. The message the young man had for the player when we come back from break. And a reminder that if you see news happening, share your videos and photos on social media with us. Make sure you use the hashtag ABC Big 2 News. And if you haven't done it yet, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We are ABC Big 2 News.
Tuesday night, a News Nation exclusive. Chris Cuomo sits down one-on-one with News Nation's Dan Abrams.
His first television interview since leaving CNN. What he's doing now,
that is the nature of this war.
What he's doing next, and answering the tough questions about his past.
Chris Cuomo, the exclusive interview for the full hour on Dan Abrams Live. Tuesday night at 9, 8 Central, only on News Nation.
A new Chevy is the smart way to hit the open road this summer. The smart way to road trip and seek new adventures. Go a little farther this summer in a new Chevy. Find new get up and go, find new roads. Well-qualified buyers get 2.49% financing on most 2021 and 2022 Chevy SUVs when you finance with GM Financial. New models are arriving daily. Secure yours today. See your Permian Basin Chevy dealers.
Suddenlink is becoming Optimum, and bit by bit, we're making big changes to reconnect with you, like building Optimum Fiber, a new 100% fiber internet network, and combining it with Optimum Mobile for complete connectivity. We're giving you more flexibility with no first bundles or annual contracts, and we're here for you with 24/7 support, with your satisfaction backed by a 60-day money-back guarantee. Little by little, progress adds up to something bigger. Reconnecting with you. Let's reconnect.
We're your local weather authority. We warn you first. Our team is working around the clock to keep you and your family safe. What you need to know on ABC Big 2 News.
Fueling our cars, our homes, and our local economy, gas, oil, and electricity are all powering the Permian. I'm Matt Fonz. Watch my reports every Wednesday night at 6 and 10.
Watch Powering the Permian every Wednesday night on ABC Big 2 News.
And last tonight, a Colorado boy travels to Los Angeles to deliver a message from his late grandpa to a baseball hero. ABC's Whit Johnson shows us the heartwarming encounter at the MLB All-Star Game that's since gone viral.
That's 10-year-old Blake Grice coming face-to-face with his hero, LA Dodgers pitcher Clayton Kershaw, at a press conference before this week's All-Star game, summoning up the courage to speak on behalf of his late grandfather, posted on MLB.com.
My grandpa loved you, and he wanted to meet you and Vince Scully one day. So this moment is important to me because I'm meeting you for him.
Oh, wow. Blake's grandfather never getting his wish, dying in 2014 from brain cancer.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna
come here, dude. It's great to meet you. Great to meet you. The emotional meeting sinking in.
That story is hard for me to tell because I miss my grandfather a lot. I don't have much memory of him. When he gave me that hug, I felt really comforted, and it just really helped me get through that moment.
Blake's social media is flooded with posts about baseball. He was credentialed by the MLB as a kid reporter at the game.
Do you have a parent here or anything?
Blake was there with his dad, Barry, making this encounter with Kershaw all the more special. His late grandfather's wish fulfilled, and the photo proof now touching hearts around the world.
I know he's proud of me up there.
And there's no doubt his grandpa would be proud. Coming up after the break, Bridget will have one last look at the forecast. Stay with us.
Did you know Texas Health and Human Services has a free helpline to guide Texas residents through the complexities of Medicare? Get answers to all your Medicare questions. Call 800-252-9240 today.
At All-American Chevrolet of Midland, summertime is heating up, and so are our incredible savings on our entire lineup of new Chevys. We're getting more deliveries every day, and with over 165 in inventory, now is the time. And with interest rates as low as 0% APR on a brand new 22 Equinox, it may be the best time to get behind the wheel of a brand new Chevy. Call, come by, or shop online at MidlandChevy.com. Come check out our summertime specials and experience the difference only at All-American Chevrolet of Midland.
Check into the MCM Grande Hotel and Fun Dome for affordable family fun. There's a fun activity for kids, teens, and adults. On-site playground for more fun. Mini golf included with stay. Take a splash in our indoor-outdoor pool, open year-round. Relax in our 2-room suites for extra space. Wake up and enjoy full-service breakfast with eggs cooked to order included with your stay. The MCM Grande Hotel and Fun Dome, Odessa. Affordable family fun.
At USAA, we've been called too exclusive, because we only serve those who honorably serve. All ranks, all branches, and their eligible family members. Yep, that is exclusive, and we're fine with that.
AMID is the Basin's first television station. From 1953 until now and beyond, we're always first, always accurate, and always proud to call the Basin home. Watch ABC Big 2 News. Are you looking for a job in the fast-paced world of news? ABC Big 2 is currently hiring for the following positions. Qualified applicants, head over to yourbasin.com and click on Work for Us under the Jobs tab.
Well, let's take one last look at that 7-day forecast. And tomorrow we're really putting the sun in Sunday with a high of 97 degrees. It's going to be sunny, but it's also going to be windy. So as you're getting ready for your activities for tomorrow, do be sure to have your lash glue handy because you're going to need it. Winds will be traveling pretty fast at 25 miles per hour of wind gusts. And then we aren't in our triple digits this week, which is exciting for, I know, Rob and Avi especially. Wink, wink over there. And then we get some rain come Friday and Saturday. So definitely not too bad whatsoever.
Thanks a lot, Bridget. Now, it's sea turtle season on Florida's Space Coast, and the number of nests could set a new record. The Office of Tourism says more than 23,000 turtles have appeared so far this year, each ready to lay about 100 eggs. There are around 2,000 more nests than last year, with more to come. Now, protecting sea turtles is a big job in Florida, as many species are endangered. You guys, I think that's really the reason why we wore green today. You know,
Yes.
Yeah, save the turtles. That's what we got to do. Save the turtles.
Yes,
Glad
I'm
to see
here
they're
for
doing
that.
so well, though. I mean,
and
laying all
remarkable
those eggs.
footage of what they're going through and everything. It's quite neat to see nature in action when no humans are around.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how do they get that footage? Like, they just have like night cameras out there, I assume, something like that.
Yeah, it's quite neat stuff.
I mean, that infrared type
Technology.
stuff. See on,
We love
Nat,
it, don't
yeah,
we?
see on Nat Geo, yeah. Save the turtles.
We are applauding the turtles and the screen, all for them tonight. Well, that's all the time we have for news, and thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you here tomorrow at 10 o'clock.